And we can go ahead and get started on your back on the mat. We'll have the feet flat on the floor. And knees are going to be up to the ceiling. I'll walk back over to the computer one more time to lock our room, and then one more time again to start the music. So lying on your back here, we'll start with a low bridge to wake up the glutes and find a neutral pelvis. So lengthen that tailbone just slightly towards the heels. Feel the glutes turn on a bit, and then lift the entire pelvis up a small amount so that you still feel length in that low back region. Pausing here in a stable position first before we do anything else. And as you're here, start to imagine, if you were here a few weeks ago, we did a diaphragm exercise where we exhaled all our air out and pulled the belly. Essentially, we widen the rib cage and the abdomen kind of pulls up towards the ribs. We're not going to do that in this position, but energetically, just imagine the abdominal wall, the front of your core, really pulling down into the low back to give some more length. And then we'll do a few small movements here. Arms will come up almost like a ballerina circle above you. Palms facing you. And we'll exhale, draw the elbows straight out from the shoulders, press the back of the arm into the mat. As you do this, curl the pubic bone up even more. So it's like that, we kind of go into a posterior tilt and then pull the abdominals down into the back. And inhale, return to neutral, the hands come back to this big circle here. Exhale, elbows pull down, we press the back of the arms into the mat, curve that tailbone up even more, and we pull the low belly down into the back. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, back of the arms to the floor, curling that pubic bone up, getting a little extra length in the low belly, and those glutes have to wake up a little more too. Inhale, release there, press the palms flat up to the ceiling, and pull back on the right fingers with the left hand. Waking up the wrists just briefly. Take a big inhale. Let that go through the mouth. Then we'll switch sides. Left palm presses up to the ceiling. We pull back with the right hand on those left fingers. Take a big inhale. And exhale. We'll let the hands come back to the mat, and as we lower through the back, feel that same kind of extra curve in the tailbone, drawing the pubic bone up as we slowly settle the low back onto the mat. You can let the knees move just slightly side to side here. And we'll draw the knees over the hips for our abdominals today. If this doesn't feel secure for you, you can always lower the feet. Interlace those fingers behind the head, elbows come up to the ceiling. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let the air out and draw the head and shoulder blades off the mat. Pause at the top here. And ever so slightly, let the left leg start to lower in this bent position, so it doesn't have to go super far. And then pull the belly down to lift that leg up back to your table, and inhale, lower. Exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. Feeling like almost a weight in the sacrum here. Let this right leg start to lower, maybe a couple inches. Don't let the back respond at all. And then pull the low belly down more to lift that leg back to original position. Inhale, lower. Adding on if you'd like. Exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. This time adding a twist to the left. We'll lower the left leg in the same manner, really keeping that sacrum loaded on the floor. And then bring the knee back to where it was. Return to center. Inhale, lower. Exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. Twisting to the right. Really moving from the center. Lower this right leg to some degree. Push down in the low belly more, draw the knee back over the hip, return to neutral, inhale, lower. Last iteration here, exhale, head and shoulder blades lift, twist to the left. We lower the left leg to some degree and then externally rotate. So the knee will go out on the upper left diagonal. Back to neutral, knee comes in, and inhale, lower. Oh, I hope you feel that too. Last time here, exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. Twisting right, right leg lowers to some degree, and we externally rotate at the hip. That right knee moves out slightly. Back to neutral, inhale, lower. Draw the knees in towards you just briefly. Take some deep breaths there while I lock our Zoom room. And we have just one more, what I would call movement rehearsal here, kind of in our abdominals, or in the same vein as an abdominal exercise. So you can lengthen the left leg long on the floor. Anchor the right palm down by the hip and really press it into the floor. And then make half of a circle with the left hand. So just like we started in our bridge with our first position arms, as we would say in dance, we keep the left arm there with that right palm anchored on the floor. From here, right leg will be extended as well. Exhale, press into the right palm, start to curve up, and at the same time, we externally rotate the right hip and bend the knee. So it's a similar position as we just practiced, and then slowly descend. Inhale. Exhale, press into the floor with the left heel and the right forearm. And inhale, descend. One more. Exhale, press. Inhale, descend, and we'll try the other side. We're going to do this in our flow, which is why I want your body to feel like it's familiar now. So we anchor this left palm, forearm. Big inhale. Exhale, press into the right heel, left forearm. Lifting up, left hip externally rotates. And lower, inhale. Exhale, curving up. As that hip externally rotates, you don't have to go too high. Inhale, lower. One more time, exhale. Externally rotate that hip and inhale, we lower. Stretch the arms overhead, really reach the feet away from you as you inhale. And exhale, release. We'll come up and around onto all fours or quadruped here. Starting with this stirring motion here, line up those wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Really feel neutral pelvis, core contained here, and then lift the right leg up, keeping the knee bent and keeping the pelvis from moving. We'll externally rotate at the hip and then draw the knee forward. So we're making kind of a circular motion down and then back to where we started. So external rotation's our first motivator here, and then we pull that knee up towards us to some degree, down towards the floor and then back. So we'll do a few more, just kind of, you can limit the motion now if it feels like you're a little bit restricted. Doesn't have to be anything really extreme. We're just trying to wake up some kind of ball and socket movement in the hip joint. And one more here as we externally rotate. Let the pelvis open to the right and just extend the right leg to the side. Feeling some like length in the hamstring there. And then bend the knee and we'll lower the shin. Going to the other side. Press that left leg up in space, keeping the knee bent. You can always check on that neutral pelvis. We externally rotate, pelvis stays neutral, knee moves forward, down towards the floor and back in a neutral position. Externally rotate. Trying to keep the low belly from responding in any way. We really want to keep it anchored towards our low back. We'll do 2 more. One side might feel quite different, and that's okay. This last time, as the knee comes out to the side, open the pelvis. I'm gonna hit my wall. Extend the leg. Really pressing through the hands here, and then lower that knee. Let's sit back briefly. You can circle the wrists and let that, the forearms react. And then just briefly before we move a little bit more, we'll tuck the toes in this quadruped position. Keeping weight in the hands will lift the pelvis. And then do a mini version of what we just did. So the right leg will lift maybe a foot, move out to the side, toes facing forward to some degree, and then lower. And the left leg will lift, move out to the side, and down to the floor. We'll do this once more on each side. Right leg lifts, out to the side, back to the floor, and left leg lifts. Keep that neutral pelvis, just imagining the thigh moving in the hip joint. You can lower the knees here, sit the hips back. Take a moment for child's pose while I turn on some music. Take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, shift the weight forward, walk those feet towards the top of the mat, bending those knees. And inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bending through the knees, plant the hands, right foot steps back, lower the knee, top of the foot, inhale, half kneel. Pull the front of the rib cage back. You can use your hands slightly to almost just gently press that front part of the ribs back in space. Hands plant under the shoulders, step back, plank. Glutes turn on, lower those knees, and we lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog, lifting the pelvis way up there. Right foot steps forward, left knee lowers, top of the foot, inhale, lift, half kneel. Turning that left glute on, and hands come to the front of the ribs, gently just reminding to pull them almost back and down. Hands plant in front of the foot, left toes tucked, sorry about the sirens. Step that foot in, bending the knees generously. Exhale. Inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, hinging at the hips, hands plant. Left foot steps back, lower the knee, top of the foot, inhale, lift. We'll take the arms wide here. Maybe make fists. I don't have very much room, so we're gonna make it fists today. Keep the arms locked where they are, and just moving from the ribs, we'll side bend slightly over to the right, back through center, exhale over to the left. So we keep the exact orientation of the arms, one more to each side. Exhale right, and we're just moving in the rib cage. Exhale left. Hands plant under the shoulders, step back for plank, squeeze your glutes. Lower those knees and keep the chest open as we lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, lower the right knee, top of the foot, and inhale, lift. Anchor through the pelvis here, arms open out to the side, nice and wide. Remembering those ribs pulling back as our arms are wide here. Exhale, side bend left, through center, and right. Back through center, one more time left, to center, and right. Return to vertical, hands plant in front of the foot, tuck the back toes and step it in. Exhale, bent knee forward fold, inhale, rise. Exhale, hinging at the hips, hands plant. Step the right foot back, lower that knee. You can keep the toes tucked if that feels okay. We're lengthening the tailbone down to the floor here. Kind of a bit of an adaptation. We'll open the arms wide. And then cross that left arm behind, right arm reaches up. Reach high, high, high here, almost like your shoulder was an extension of your hip, giving extra length in that region. And then sweep this right arm down and around. We'll open up to goddess, so opening to the right side of your mat. Arms come wide here. And take a moment, make sure you're not forcing the turnout in your hips, but letting them feel kind of in a place of ease where we can keep the tailbone lengthened to the floor. Big inhale here. Exhale, same motion we did in low lunge. We'll just side bend to the right, keeping the arms wide, and then let the ear drip towards the right shoulder. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, side bend. Let that ear drip. Inhale. We're going to add on a bit. Exhale, side bend to the right. And then take this first one slowly. We're heading to tilted crescent, facing the back of the mat. We'll come up on the left toes as we go. Right arm sweeps down by the hip, left arm by the ear. So just notice the micro adjustments you have to make to the feet. And then both hands come to the front of the ribs. Almost lift them up, like you could lift them into your back. And then fly the arms back, pulling those shoulder blades towards the spine just slightly. Left arm sweeps forward, up, and we open to goddess. Arms wide. Exhale, tipping to the left. Let that ear go. And we'll head to tilted crescent facing the front. We pivot onto the right toes, turn the body to face forward. Long diagonal from head to heel. Turn on this right glute. Hands come to the front of the rib cage, lift it up slightly. And then arms fly back, draw those shoulder blades onto the rib cage. Right arm sweeps down and up, opening to goddess. One more each way. Side bend right. Turning towards tilted crescent. Weight into this right foot, up on the left toes. Find that neutral pelvis. Hands come to the ribs, pull them up into the back body. Fly those arms back by the hips, shoulder blades on the ribs. Left arm sweeps down and around, opening you to goddess. Last time here, side bend left. Turning to the front of the mat, up onto those right toes. Find neutral pelvis before anything. And then hands come to the front of the ribs, pull them up. Arms fly back as those shoulder blades sit nicely on the rib cage there. From here, we'll windmill all the way to the back of the mat. Hands plant, right leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Pause here. Take a moment. We'll lift and lower the left heel. So feeling the weight shift forward more, adding demand to the hands as we lift that heel. Lifting onto the toes. You can keep the left knee really bent to give some more room for your hamstring. And pause in your neutral down dog position. Just like we practiced before we started flowing, right leg moves out to the right, slightly forward, and we step the foot down. So we walked forward about a foot. Weight into that right leg, left leg lifts to some degree. Left leg moves out to the left, over to the side, a bit forward. You can bend those knees as we step the left leg forward. Right leg lifts to some degree. It doesn't have to be high, but we're just making these circles in the hip, sweeping that right leg out and forward. And then just walk the hands forward, step the left foot in, bend into the knees, hinge at the hips. Fly the arms back in space, bringing the torso on a bit of a diagonal, kind of like a hovering chair here. And then we'll sweep the arms up for more of a traditional chair. Really nice hinge at the hips here, feeling those sits bones pull into your midline. We're gonna move a little bit. Weight into the right leg, Keep everything as it is and just open, externally rotate the right hip. So we come into this kind of elevated malasana position. Return to neutral, weight into that right leg, undo external rotation. Other side, weight into the left, externally rotate the left hip to open you up slightly on the diagonal. Return to neutral, right foot lands. One more each side, really use your glutes here, hovering this left leg, externally rotate right leg, open on the diagonal. Doesn't have to be extreme. And then back to neutral. And weight into the left leg. Opening up to the right. Be mindful of your real anatomical ability there. Don't try to push it. And then we slide the left foot behind us, windmill to the front of the mat, twisted crescent. Right hand lands on the floor. You could also bring a block under that hand to get a little bit more lift. Third option would be to lower the right knee. So be mindful of your needs there. And then we'll sweep the left arm on the towards the back of the mat here. Feel some deepening in the hip crease. Right glute is on. Big inhale. As you exhale, let the right ear drip towards the shoulder. And we'll all walk ourselves back to the right side of the mat, toes face side of the mat, and we're in this wide leg forward fold. Bring a bit of a buoyancy to the knees. Press into the palms. Use the energy of the palms in the floor here, and almost imagine that could start lifting your rib cage into some tiny circles. So I'm imagining I press into my right hand, my ribs go left, up. When I press into my left hand, my ribs go to the side. So it's not necessarily like, using your quad to straighten your leg or something, but we can create these really strong movement connections just through imagery and imagining how, hip bone connects to the leg bone, if you will. So just alternating sides. One more circle of the rib cage here. And then we'll turn ourselves to the back of the mat, head straight to the other side. Left knee lowers. You can keep the toes tucked if that's okay. Otherwise, untuck them. Really feel neutral pelvis first. Arms come wide. And then right hand comes behind the pelvis. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Imagining that this shoulder complex moving up is actually pulling up on that hip, giving you more space and length in there. Left arm comes forward, down and around, bringing you to goddess, arms open wide. And we've been here before, so we'll get right to it. First, we'll side bend left, let that ear drip. Back through center, inhale, exhale, side bend right. Inhale through center, check on your tailbone. Exhale to the left, one more on each side. You can always bring your hands to sandwich the pelvis and feel what's going on. You'll feel if you're tipping in one direction or the other. Through center, to the right. Back to center. Last time we turn, side bend to the left, we turn for our tilted crescent to the front of the mat. Right arm is by our ear. Use your hands, pick those ribs up into the back body. And then fly the arms back, bring the shoulders on the ribs. Right arm sweeps forward and around, back to goddess, and we side bend right. Turning to the back of the mat, tilted crescent. Left arm is forward first. Establish those strong legs grounded in the floor, and then pick the front rib cage up into the back body. Small movement with a big feeling. And then reach the arms behind you, bringing the shoulder blades onto the back. Left arm reaches forward and up, opening to goddess. One more each side. Side bend left. Turn to the front of the mat, tilted crescent. Right glute turns on. Pick up those ribs. Arms fly back. Right arm sweeps forward and around, goddess. Side bend right. Turning to the back of the mat, left arm is forward. Creasing in this right hip. And then pick the front ribs up. Lengthen the arms along the hips. Find those shoulder blades on the back. So when we do that, we really feel open chest instead of letting our arm bones sag forward. You can see and feel the difference. We'll windmill to the front of the mat, hands plant, left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Find your neutral pelvis here. Feel the left half of the pelvis even with the right. And we lift and lower the heel if that feels okay. Even here is a great place to imagine the connection between the palms in the floor and the front of the ribs, just like we did in that straddle on facing the side. And pause in neutral. Here we go with those sweeping walks forward. Left leg goes out to the left, a bit forward, and we step. Bending the knee as much as you need, keeping length in the back. Right leg lifts to some degree, open out to the right, sweep it forward, step it down, bend that knee. Left leg lifts, you can also walk the hands forward. Left leg out to the left, sweep it down, step it forward, and then right foot comes to meet the left, bend into the knees. This tilted chair position, torso's on the diagonal. Even here, feeling like the glutes were drawing towards center to give you a little extra lift. And then arms extend up alongside the ear, if that's okay. You can also choose prayer. Here we go, testing out our hip rotation. Weight into this left leg. Press the foot into the floor. Externally rotate at the hip there, and then step the right foot down. Step the right foot back to the center. Weight into the right. Externally rotate that right hip, high malasana. And then left foot steps back to center. Left foot's weighted, we open to the right, high malasana. Step it back. Last time here, left foot to the left. And step it back. We'll sweep the right leg behind us, windmill to the back of the mat. Left hand lands, twisted crescent. Really leaning into this left shoulder complex as we twist open. Remembering to keep the left glute lifted and active. And you can always lower the left knee if you need. Walking our hands over to the left, toes face the left, weight into the palms, and really feel the wrists are under the shoulders. So you might be pitched a bit further forward than you are normal to, or are used to, are normal to, ha ha ha. We'll press into the palms, envision on the diagonal as we weight into one palm, ribs move over on the opposite diagonal. And just finding this subtle relationship with the pressure of the palms, almost imagining it could manipulate this slight barrel roll of our rib cage. Get it? You can let the head go as you do this. In fact, you should let the head go. We'll do a few more. Letting that chin go. And whoa, really pressing between the shoulder blades. We'll walk our hands to the top of the mat, step the right foot in, bend those knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands plant. Step back for plank, squeeze your glutes. Lower those knees, lower to the floor, keeping that chest open, just like tilted crescent. Turn on those glutes, cobra. Exhale, down dog, lifting the pelvis. Walk those feet in a touch. Big inhale, feel weight in the hands. Exhale, bend the knees and walk or hop forward. Inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands plant, step it back for plank. Glutes squeeze at the top. Lower the knees or lower halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Pelvis lifts. Walk those feet a bit in towards the hands. Inhale, rise on those toes, weight in the hands. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk or hop forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands plant. Last time we step back for plank. Lower to the knees or halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. And walk those feet in a touch and we'll pause. Big inhale, exhale. As you exhale, envision that connection, palm to front of the ribs. Like the pressure of the palm into the floor was also drawing those front ribs into the back body. Weight into the right foot, left leg will lift, three-legged down dog. Heading to left crescent, you can step or add a hop and step that left foot forward. Inhale, rise. Squeezing this right glute here, arms lift overhead. We're gonna move this a bit in a small little series. Exhale, we shift forward almost like a tilted crescent. Press off the right toes, fly to airplane. We sweep the right leg through as we rise to stand. Knee comes up, stork, and then externally rotate. Doesn't have to be extreme, just a bit. Extend that right leg back in a neutral position and sweep it back. Crescent lunge, arms can sweep up. Inhale here, exhale, shift it forward, airplane. Really crease in this left leg. You can always have the hands on the thighs for a little extra support there. Right leg sweeps through as we rise to stand. Knee lifts and externally rotate at the right hip. Turn that left glute on. Press the right leg long in neutral. Sweep the foot back. Arms overhead. Crescent lunge. Inhale. We'll do one more here. Exhale. Shift the weight forward. Airplane. Feel increase in this left hip and neutral pelvis. We press into the foot, rise, right knee lifts. Externally rotate. And then extend the right leg in neutral, sweep it back, open up, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior, left arm over the ear. Inhale through center. Exhale, warrior variation. Left forearm to thigh. Inhale through center. Exhale, reverse. Tailbone lengthens towards the floor. Don't let it get twisted on you. Inhale. Exhale, warrior variation. Left forearm to thigh. Really feel the pressure into that right foot, lengthening through the side body. Turning to the front of the mat. Hands come way in front of the foot. We slide the right foot in and behind the left. So we're in a cross ankle position. Can be way up on the fingers. You could bring the arms to the thighs, buoyancy in the knees. The general idea is I want you to have a lengthened and strong spine and core. I want this whole torso to be long rather than curving because you want to force your legs into something. So adjust accordingly. From here, moving to half moon. Weight into this right foot, really feel it solid. Sweep the left leg around and back, opening up to the left side, letting that left leg surge back in space, almost like you were standing on the wall behind you. Lengthen the tailbone there. And then bend the left knee. We're gonna move towards a seated twist. Left knee hooks behind the right heel, but we immediately undo this, turning to the back of the mat, and we lie on our backs. Left arm comes to our half circle, right hand plants. This is the moment, you guys. We rehearsed for it. Exhale, Curving up, externally rotate that right hip, feels a lot more free now. Inhale, lower. We won't do a ton. Exhale. Really press into that pelvis here. Inhale, lower. Exhale, head and shoulders lift, externally rotate at the right hip. We'll do one more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. Imagine the left shoulder moving towards this right leg. We'll lower here. Bring the left foot towards the mat. Press yourself up. You can use your hands here. And then slide, weight into the right hand. We'll slide the right leg behind us, kind of threading it under left leg till the shin's on the floor. Walk the right hand towards the front of the mat. Sorry, that's a bad time to mess up right and left. So that right hand is facing towards the front of the mat. And we're side bending over. We're in this kind of half kneel warrior variation. And then turn, plant the hands at the front of the mat, come onto the toes, plank. Take your time to get there. If you need, squeeze those glutes. Little stirring of the pot. We'll move the pelvis here, right, up, left, and down. Trying to keep weight in the upper body here, squeezing glutes, and then other way, left, up, right, and down. Can always do this on the knees. That's a great option. Press into the hands, we'll lift the pelvis, walk the feet in a bit. Big inhale, exhale, let it go. Heading straight to the other side here, right leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Moving to crescent lunge, you can either step the foot forward or add a hop and then step it forward. We'll all meet in this nice crescent lunge. Squeezing that left glute, arms reach overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, shift through tilted crescent. Push off those left toes, fly for your airplane. Continuing to feel this right hip crease, remembering you can keep those hands on the right thigh. Press into this right foot, left leg sweeps through, knee lifts, and we externally rotate at the hip. Squeeze that right glute, extend the left leg, and we sweep it back, crescent lunge. Big inhale, exhale, shift it forward, airplane. Shoulder blades on the back, on the rib cage here. Pressing into that right foot, use the glute, left knee lifts. External rotation at the hip. Extend the leg long and neutral and fly it back. Arms overhead. I haven't figured out the arms yet, so if you've noticed, you win a prize or something. Exhale, shift it forward, arms fly back. Press into that right foot, left knee lifts. Lengthen the tailbone towards the floor as we externally rotate. And then press the leg long, sweep it back, open to the left for warrior two. Right knee is bent here. Exhale, reverse, right arm over the ear. Inhale through center. Exhale, warrior variation. Don't let this right hip slide away on you, but really keep it under you. Inhale, exhale, reverse. Inhale, exhale, warrior variation. Turning to the front of the mat, hands move forward. Sliding this left foot forward behind the right leg. We've got this cross ankle position. Feeling length in the spine, even the back of the neck. And we're headed to half moon, so we'll weight into this left leg, really feel solid there, and then uncross right leg, sweep it back, open up the right side body towards the ceiling, and imagine yourself standing tall on this right leg in an alternate reality. Pulling this front body into the back body to keep the core strong here. And then we'll move through seated twist, hooking right knee behind the left foot, Unwind all the way to the left, facing the back of the mat, and lengthen down onto the back. If you didn't get that transition, make one up. No need to follow the rules. And we'll bring this half circle on the right arm. Pressing into the left palm and forearm. Exhale, right shoulder towards the left knee as we externally rotate. Inhale, return. Exhale, head and shoulders lift. Shoulder towards the knee. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last time, as we lower, right foot comes on the floor, knees up towards the ceiling. Bring both palms to the floor, lift your torso up. We're heading for that thread. So this left palm weights down, left leg threads under you, knee lands under the hip, and step the left hand towards the front of the mat. Right arms over the ear. We're in our half kneel warrior variation. It's really a made up name, but it seems good enough. Lengthening the tailbone towards the floor. Keep pressing the hip joints forward in space. We'll really open up the side body. And then right hand plants, step into plank towards the front of the mat, and hips go left, up, right, and down, just making some tiny circles, but really try to isolate this only to the pelvis and other direction. Envisioning your low abdominals as the motor here. And we pause, use low belly, lift into down dog. Big inhale, exhale, bend the knees, weight into the hands, walk or hop forward. Let the torso fall over the legs for a moment. Head go. And then inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, hands at heart center. Close your eyes for a moment. Inhaling deeply here. And exhale. You can flutter the eyes open. We're gonna put those two sequences together. It's not a very long stream today. We've kind of, rather than doing one sequence and then the other just together, we're really kind of intertwined. But I'm slightly nervous I'm gonna get, mixed up in my head. So give me a moment to make sure that I know what's going on. You can grab a water or just keep checking in with those eyes closed. Okay, I think I know, but either way, it will be great. I think I know. You're in good hands. I know. It's gonna be okay. So come with those feet under the hips. Lengthen that tailbone long here. Take a big inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, plant the hands, right foot steps back, lower that knee. You can keep the toes tucked if that's okay. Inhale, arms lift, and then open wide. Feel like we did in that tilted crescent. Ribs pull back and shoulder blades pull on to the back. Left hand comes behind the pelvis, right arm reaches up, and let that length up take you over to the left. In lateral flexion, more opening in this right hip. You can exhale through the mouth. In those tough moments, I always find myself wanting to let it out a little. Inhale to vertical, exhale, sweep the arm down and around, opening to goddess. So that's familiar. We'll get straight to it here. Side bend to the right, turning towards our tilted crescent. Immediately push off, fly the left arm back as we come to airplane. We've been here before, it's a little more accessible. And then left toes lower, we open the left hip. Left arm reaches up and around for goddess. Side bend left here, lateral flexion, turning to the front of the mat, tilted crescent. Right arm sweeps down and back as we shift forward for airplane. Feel the evenness of the pelvis. You can always put your hands there. if you need to check in. Right toes lower, open it up. Arms reach wide. 2 more. We side bend right. Turning to the back of the mat, tilted crescent, shift it forward, airplane. Left toes lower, open for goddess. And side bend left. Shift it towards the front of the mat, pressing off the right toes, airplane. And then right toes lower, windmill to the back of the mat, hands plant, right leg lifts, 3-legged down dog. Those sweeping circular walks, right leg moves out to the right, down and around, plant that foot. Left leg lifts, out to the left, down and around. You can move the arms forward slightly, right leg lifts, foot comes down and around, and then slide the left foot behind here. We're in that cross ankle position already. Pick up the front of the ribs and then move the rib cage side to side. Imagining like a hand was on either side of your ribs, like you're a marionette. Heading to half moon here, weight into the left foot, uncross the right leg and sweep the right side body open. Little buoyancy in this left knee, really strong through the right leg, making sure it's not kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, sweeping behind you, but really it's right under the hip. Bending into the left knee, right leg lowers, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse, left arm over the ear. Inhale through center and warrior variation. So inhaling through center, and we take the exhale as we reverse. Inhaling and exhaling, warrior variation. Press through the left foot, we'll windmill to the front of the mat. Left leg sweeps up, stork position, and then externally rotate, crossing ankle over thigh for a figure 4. If that feels terrible, you can stick with a chair. But not forcing the knee here, just feeling some nice opening in the hip. Again, pulling the front of the ribs back in space. And then here we go, it's our favorite move. Moving through seated twist, we'll sweep the left knee behind the right, left hand comes to the floor, unwind to the back of the mat. You know what's coming. Left arm in the half circle, right palm and forearm really weighted down. Exhale, left shoulder towards right knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw down in the low belly to pull you up. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Connecting these circles in different parts of the body. Last time, exhale, stay up. And then we'll turn around, plant the right foot down, left hand lands, moving through almost a quadruped, right hand lands, and then we open up for a table if that feels okay. So the right fingers are planted towards the front of the mat, feet are parallel facing the back of the mat, and we lengthen through the tailbone, lifting that pelvis up, taking big inhales, exhale. Turning over, start to slightly lower the pelvis, then walk the hands forward. We'll step the left foot forward, twisted crescent here, keeping either length in the right knee or lowering it. And then sweep the left arm behind you, down by the hip, and envision you were using that arm to open up the rib cage. Something we don't do often, because I don't want you to crank on the shoulder, but just imagine they were connected and somebody was kind of pulling on your arm here. We'll turn to the right side of the mat for our straddle. And this time, just take some cat-cow, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, push, coming into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, push, and then let's just take 4 side lunges. We'll bend into the right knee and hip. Bend into the left knee and hip. Bend right. Bend left. We'll walk the hands forward. Step the right foot in. Inhale, rise. One more side here. Exhale, hinging at the hips, hands plant. Left foot steps back, lower that knee. Inhale, lift. Arms come wide. Right hand comes behind. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling, reaching so much, getting so much length that we side bend right. Inhale to vertical. Exhale, left hand sweeps down and around, opening to goddess. Facing the other side of the mat here. Side bend to the right. Turning to the front of the mat, tilted crescent, press off. Arm sweeps back, airplane. Left toes lower through our goddess here, and we side bend left. Turning to the back of the mat, push off those right toes, fly for your airplane. And right toes lower, open it up, goddess pose. One more time each way, turning to the front, fly for our airplane. Left toes lower, open up, goddess. And to the left, turning to the back of the mat, right leg lifts, airplane. Straight from here, this time we'll plant the hands, right toes lower, three-legged down dog, left leg lifts. Sweeping that leg out to the side and around, step on the left foot. Right leg lifts, moving out to the right and around and down, step on the right foot. Left leg lifts, opening out to the left, down and around, and we sneak the right leg behind the left, cross ankle forward fold. Come up on the fingertips and side to side with the rib cage. Letting some breath out through the mouth. And then moving to half moon, wading into the right foot, uncross the left leg, sweeping the left side body up, opening up here, pressing through the left foot, and pulling that front body back into the back body. On your next inhale, we'll bend the right knee, rising for warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Right arm over the ear, we inhale through center, and exhale, warrior variation, left arm over the ear. Inhale, and exhale, reverse. Inhale, exhale, warrior variation. We'll press off the right foot, windmill to the front of the mat, right knee lifts, stork. Externally rotate, sit back, figure four. Right ankle's crossing over the left thigh. We're drawing the ribs back in space. Really feeling that left glute on. Mine loves to snooze in this position, so you can always poke it if that's the case for you as well. We're heading towards our back, moving through our seated twist. Right knee sweeps behind the left leg, right fingertips to floor. Unwind to the back of the mat. Here we go. Right arm's in the half circle, left palm presses. Exhale, right shoulder towards left knee. Inhale, release. And you can take this in your own time. Moving, feeling it. This is a bit more accessible. Last time here. Tip this shape over to the right so the left foot comes towards the floor. We move through a little bit of a quadruped, weight into the left hand and turning over, opening up for a table. Left fingers are facing the front of the mat. If you hate this version, you can bring the pelvis down, hands face the feet, and use both arms. Yogi's choice. We're really getting some nice opening by squeezing those glutes, opening in the front of the hip. We'll start to lower the pelvis, turning over to the left, planting the hands, right foot steps forward, twisted crescent. Weight into that left hand, opening up here. Big inhale and exhale. Walking the hands to the left side of the mat for our straddle. Feeling palms connect to the floor, bending those knees as much as you need. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Pressing into the floor, puffing up between the shoulder blades. Just getting some fluidity in the spine and almost thinking about these two positions like it was moving on a circle, like they were actually connected in a circular motion rather than almost like the pirate ship carnival game where you just bend one way and then the other. Really envision the connection there. We'll return to a stillness here. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Just scoot the left leg under you. We're heading towards our backs. Get there in any way that's comfortable. Draw the knees towards you as you lower towards the floor. Lengthening through the back of the neck here. And then just for a moment, we'll open the feet up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees bent. The hips come a bit wider than the torso, and the hands come either on the inner part of the shins or up to the feet. And rather than pulling down with our knees, we're going to put pressure up into our hands and pull down in our low belly. At the same time, lengthening the back of the neck. So it's this active, happy baby position. And then release that, and ever so slowly we'll extend one leg and then the other, heading to Shavasana, or finding any position that feels comfortable today for these final moments of rest. If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana, you can just mute the computer here. So pause the video and stay as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move, I'll take a big inhale. Reach the arms way overhead along the floor. Lengthen those legs away from you, just like we did at the start of class. See if you can feel your spine more grounded on the floor. Exhale, and then draw one knee in at a time, wrapping around those shins in some way, and then pulling the head up to make a tiny little ball. Kind of feeling this circular orientation of the body. And then lengthen the head towards the floor, and keeping those eyes closed, you can make your way to a comfortable seat. I'll just take a moment to close here. We'll take the arms wide from the shoulders first. Feel the expanse of body between one set of fingers and the other. Feel the energy that can surge both horizontally and vertically in our vessels. And we'll exhale, bring the palms together at heart center. Taking a moment to remember and acknowledge that we can always close the circle, integrate our body more, connect the dots between the disparate pieces of these bodies that we move through the world in. We'll take one big inhale together and exhale. Thank you so much for your time and your energy today. Namaste. Thanks everyone. I will stick around for questions. You can also, as you're going, if you want to pop in the chat, what music playlist preference you have, either me sharing sound or you using the link. You can let me know. Otherwise, email me, get in touch in any way if anything comes up, and I'm here on Thursday. So have a great rest of the week if I don't see you. Also, sorry the music was loud in Shavasana. It was supposed to be calmer. Thanks everyone. Hope you're all good, hanging in.